Visual.
All right, I will call the meeting to order. We have a quorum. And first order of business is the meeting minutes, which Shannon provided just a few minutes ago. I've had a quick look at them. They look good to me.
Are they posted somewhere? Because I don't have a hard copy.
I don't know whether she posted them on the website or not. Sorry about that, Lynette.
That's okay. I'm checking. It's no problem.
I thought they were in the email, okay?
I didn't see it.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So many documents. So.
Yeah.
When was our last meeting? What was the date?
It was May 11th, 1 week ago.
Yeah, those are not here.
Let's see here.
So here, Lynette, I can just read to you the relevant part. Other than the boilerplate, it's, new business survey of residents. The committee continued discussion on the draft resident survey for the comprehensive plan update. Members reviewed question structure, ranking options, and survey format. Discussion included use of an online survey platform and associated costs, potential inclusion of paper copies for residents, the importance of gathering feedback from both year-round and seasonal residents, possible additions to the survey, including housing options, economic development, and community growth priorities, consideration of including questions related to accessory dwelling units, ADUs, affordable housing, and future land use concerns. The committee agreed to continue refining the survey draft and to pursue funding for the online survey platform. The committee approved a motion to request $350 from contingency funds from the select board for the purpose of distributing the community survey. And then the final item is the committee discussed reviewing the 26 comprehensive plan to identify goals, recommendations, and action items that remain relevant or unfinished. Members noted the importance of evaluating past priorities and determining what updates or revisions may be needed for the new plan. And that's basically it.
Mhm.
Thanks, Richard.
Sure. We have a motion to approve. Okay.
I just have one concern. We're talking and I don't mean to be a stick in the mud here, but on my comments for tonight's meeting up at the top of the paper. The general concern, and we touched on that last time and didn't get too far. The concern is what are the guardrails on this survey?
Yeah.
And that's not mentioned in the minutes, and we did discuss that.
Yeah, okay, well, let's add that to the minutes. We can just add that as an additional Roman numeral 6 down here and say, how would you want to put that?
Discussion about the you got good words.
Parameters.
The parameters of conducting the survey. How's that?
Okay, discussion of parameters for
To assure some validity.
conducting the survey to assure validity. Okay.
I did not have a problem.
Lloyd.
Hello.
Lloyd.
Right, everyone.
We were just going over the minutes and Ford just suggested an addition, which was to reflect the discussion that we did have, which the point he raised being discussion of parameters for conducting the survey to assure validity.
Ford added a point here.
Okay.
So is that with that amendment, would you accept that amendment to the minutes? And we have a second for approval? Okay, and Bob. And I just want to, and all in favor? Okay, all in favor.
Lynette?
Aye.
Okay.
You're right.
Okay, yes,
She's
unanimous.
got two eyes.
All right, I don't think we have any public members attending, right? Lynette is the only one who is in by
yeah.
Zoom.
Yes, we did, no one else was admitted,
Okay.
only in Lynette was admitted.
Okay, so no public
Participants, that's all.
comments.
Comment on the minutes.
Yes, Chris is just you're just
Yeah.
checking to see, make sure that we don't have any.
Right, just town of Wayne and.
Yeah, okay. All right, so then under old business, we have the survey of Wayne residents. And Paula, do you want to pick that up?
Okay. Okay, let me just go back to that. Okay, we left off at number 6. Here, Lloyd is a copy from 4:30 this afternoon,
Okay.
Hot off the press.
hot off the press.
So we went through 6.
Yeah,
Is that
and I added, so I made the changes that we had discussed last week. So this copy reflects the changes that we discussed. Chris added some of those changes. I added the remaining changes. I also made changes that were reflected in some of the comments that
Mhm.
members of the committee had suggested. I wasn't able to print out the comments that everyone had made,
Mhm.
but I did respond to
Yeah.
everybody's
Yeah.
comments.
Mhm.
Or I made the changes that were requested in this copy. So for example, Lynette had requested that we change voice in the introduction to
yeah.
perspective or some other word, but I chose
What number are you
perspective.
talking about?
So in the
Oh, the
introduction on the
intro.
very
Yeah.
first line, you'll see voice is changed to perspective.
Yeah.
Lynette had also suggested that in the introduction, we add some explanation as to the ranking system to explain to people that number 1 means that it is the highest level of importance. So you'll see that I added a couple, 3 sentences to the introduction. Some of the responses ask you to select one response, whereas others ask you to rank your choices in order of importance. When ranking, number 1 should be your choice with the highest level of importance. Number 2 should be the second highest level of importance, and so on.
Mhm. Very clear.
Very clear? Does that respond to your comment sufficiently, Lynette?
Yeah, that's perfect. Just exactly what I
Okay.
meant. It's just for
Okay.
clarity because somebody's going to make up their own rules.
Right.
I thought that was very helpful. Okay, so and does everyone, I shared the introduction with everyone in an email, so hopefully you all had a chance to look at that.
Mhm.
Do you agree that it is sufficiently clear and concise?
That's-
I thought it was just what we needed.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I just entered the changes that we had requested, but in number 3, I would like to call out the comment that Bob mentioned in the affordable housing element, which is the 4th bullet.
Mhm.
Because he had mentioned that affordable housing could be a little confusing, and I provided a response to you, Bob.
Yeah. And it
that-
makes sense.
That made sense to you, and I amended that bullet a little bit to say affordable housing targeting low and middle income
Right.
Mainers to help clarify what affordable housing would mean.
Yeah.
Because you had mentioned maybe using the word subsidized, but affordable housing is not always subsidized. So I didn't want to use that word, but I thought maybe this amendment would clarify it, and I
This
just
is the
wanted to
question.
check with everyone on that.
Yeah.
I mean, it sort of begs the question as to how do you define low and middle income, but
Right.
I think it's general enough where it makes sense.
Okay,
Yeah.
are we okay with that?
We are.
Okay. And then, let me see. I added the
So
question,
come back up, just to be a devil's advocate. Is
okay,
there such a
please.
thing as affordable housing targeting high income people?
No,
So do we need that?
How about just affordable housing?
well, that's what we had,
Okay, I know,
affordable
I know,
housing.
Yeah,
I think it goes back to the discussion that we had last time where people were pointing out that, everyone's definition of affordable is different. So if you can afford it, it's affordable. And
The
I
other
think,
thing-
I think what Paula has done here clarifies it enough. It's not income amount specific, but it is income range specific. And I think that's a good place to land.
Mhm.
Okay,
as a choice.
Yeah.
okay,
I think the key there is low. If we took out anything, affordable housing targeting low income earners would be one option, because like I said, nothing affordable, you don't say affordable for real, but
Or lower, like lower income or what?
yeah, and it's not defined. People have an idea that, people are down on the luck, single moms and such.
Here,
even working people sometimes qualify
Oh, yeah.
for,
Definitely.
hopefully,
for Section 8
yeah.
vouchers,
Hopefully,
you'd be surprised. But that qualifies as as subsidized, that is subsidized housing, actually.
Right.
Okay, so are we going to keep it as is or amend it? Keep
Yeah,
it,
let's keep it.
okay. Then I didn't want to change all the numbering. So I added the question that was requested as 4A. And then at the very end, we can change the numbering
Yeah.
all at once, in case we wanted to add more questions. So I just made 4A, what types or sizes of businesses would you like to see in Wayne? So that was the question that was added. I just wanted to point out that I made it 4A as a placeholder number. So at the end, we'll make all the numbers sequential.
The survey will.
We'll take care,
renumber.
we'll renumber everything, right?
So I would think on 4A that we should have choices. And rankings. Because otherwise they're gonna get all kinds of different.
I thought we talked about
we do it?
keeping
Okay.
that as an open format question, but if we want to make it.
If I say I want big business and Melissa says he want big business, we may be thinking about totally different things.
Might be.
So I don't, I'm just.
So we can brainstorm that and
Yeah.
provide a list
I don't know.
of options for people
I'm
to
just wondering.
respond to. But when we talked about that question last week, we did not provide a list of responses to include.
Because I suppose the list would be huge.
Well, maybe.
Well, exactly. I think, there are so many options, it would be difficult to cover.
We could agree on an approach of. A prize, a couple of for content and based on number of employees rather than dollars. So I have a hard time. figuring it out.
And Lloyd, the good point with that. Cause Ford, you brought up, you can do employees or you can do size, revenue. But the number of employees is gonna affect town and Wayne more. If somebody has 2 employees and they're making $1 million, it's not gonna affect Wayne that much as somebody who has 20 employees. Oh, now we got 20 employees in the town, that's gonna affect Wayne more, which I think the survey is trying to get at.
Plus, I don't think we're looking only at the size of the business here. I think the question goes to what kinds of business are you talking? Do you want
Yeah.
retail? You want food stores? You want Walmart?
You know, a bunch of grow houses, what do you want?
Yeah, and so I
just might end up getting, if 500 people fill this thing out, we might end up getting.
Well, that's all, I'm just wondering how valuable this is.
yeah.
If we wanna, don't put anything in here that isn't gonna have value to us, because that's just people wasting their time, so, I'm just babbling here, but
Well, what sorts of responses, if we do put prompted choices in there, what sorts? of,
Well, do you want
Responses.
service businesses? Do you want natural resource based business? I'm just yapping here.
mhm,
Do you want,
like,
professional businesses? Do you want? Retail businesses? Do you want
Construction.
boutique? Do you want home occupations?
Big list.
It's a big list. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is why I think we decided to make it open-ended. Yeah.
So I'm not sure we should
I
even,
wonder if we
I'm not sure,
should
I'm not sure we
decide to
should
even out.
even do an open-ended one.
I wonder if we
What
should.
are we gonna do with it?
Well, I mean, you can get valuable information from open-ended questions. If you find that, you're getting a whole lot of answers saying,
Yeah.
you know, we want more retail stores, you know, that's useful information,
Well-
even though you're not gonna have a totally organized, fits in a box categories.
One thing we could do is-
Somebody's gonna have to collate all that then.
Yeah,
We could do, for example, construction, service, restaurant, you know. And then that gets people thinking, oh, that's what you're saying, you know.
You said the other thing, the other category doesn't work.
On the ranked choice,
Yeah,
it works on multiple choice.
it does.
I wonder if we really need to know that. We know what people are gonna say.
what are they gonna say?
They're gonna say small organizations, small. And that might be a
Well, what
small
kind of
branch,
organizations?
that may be a small branch plan of a giant organization somewhere.
I don't know that they're necessarily gonna say that. I mean, I think you're right that there's a bias towards small business, but again, what kind of small business?
I think that's more important than, I think everyone would say small business, but you don't wanna put an IBM here.
Right, yeah.
I just wonder if it adds anything, whether you take all the ambiguities involved. It's worth considering this dropping. Cause
Well,
but then again, we can't, there's nothing we can do to make it happen anyway.
That's.
Well, our job is to gather information about what people want. Sorry, Lynette. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's funny that we're stuck here because that word small is exactly the word that we landed on to make our argument in the ordinance regarding campgrounds. And it did matter. It mattered a lot. It was a point that was kind of hammered home by the ordinance committee that the comprehensive plan language specified small business, and there was no way that you could consider what Jellystone was proposing as a small business. And it did make a difference.
So Lynette, are you saying we should? Maybe speak to the number of employees?
I think
Small?
I think that would give us some useful information. And I mean, we can pick that apart and say, you know, two people can be running $1 million business, but I agree with Bob's point. Two people doing it is going to have far less of an impact on Wayne than a grow house with 30, you know? So I would like to see at least size ranges, maybe, yeah, as opposed to types of businesses. Although there again, service businesses versus retail businesses, you know, that's a difference as well. I don't want to throw the question out. I'm just not sure exactly what to do with it.
Well,
I was
I
thinking
think
maybe,
that's why we started. We don't know what to do with it.
I was thinking maybe eliminate size and just keep types. So,
Yeah, retail, restaurant, food service, professional. If you can keep it down to like 5 or 6 choices, then it might be reasonable.
I mean, another option is we could ask two different questions. One is,
Yeah.
what size of business would you like? And the other one is, what types of business? Because that's part of the confusion here, I think, is we're talking about two different dimensions to it.
yeah.
Maybe we
I
should
think
have
that's
two.
a good way to handle it. Yep. And we're still within our new limit of 20 questions if we do that.
Yeah. We may develop way more than 20, then we'll have to sift them out.
We might.
Okay, so I just asked a question to, you know, the, ChatGPT or whatever they're using.
Mhm.
Daily essentials in retail, food and beverage, trades and auto services, personal care and wellness, specialized services.
What about natural resources, farms, agriculture,
Yeah.
sawmills?
You go, right?
No.
Yeah, yeah,
Here.
Recreation,
yeah, so it's really hard to do.
it's huge.
Yeah. it's big.
Yeah, it's tough. to-
Here we would need to include that, I think.
Yeah. I mean, the open-ended question, if we get a lot of answers that we can't deal with and there's too much information, then okay, we're doing.
Oh, you
Maybe,
know,
yeah, but let's not put people through it. Let's check this one and come back to it.
Okay,
Let's put this on.
Well,
pause.
let's do two. Let's split it into two. What sizes of businesses would you like to see in what? And then, Chris, may I ask, would you mind populating the types with the categories that you?
oh, you mean like later or?
Yeah,
Yeah, of course.
okay, thank you. All right, and I'm gonna make a note.
So size is gonna be what, big or small, two choices? And how do you define those?
Size of
And
number of
then-
employees.
Well,
I don't mean to be obtuse
no, but I think that, there are. I think it's like 0 to, maybe we should do,
1 to 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number of employees we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
5 employees in this town is a big business. How many businesses in this town have 5 employees?
well, and plus, are we talking part-time or are
Yeah,
we talking
full-time,
full-time?
I'm talking full-time.
Yeah,
oh, that's right, because some of our seasonal hire more than that in terms of, but they're temporary.
Right.
For 3 months or less.
I mean, Cobby's probably has
Well, they're probably
5 or 6,
10
but
maybe. Yeah,
maybe even
part-time.
8 or 10, but a lot of them are probably part-time and.
Yeah.
Camp Manasquan has a bunch in the summertime. One in the winter.
yeah, so maybe 1 to 5.
Full-time
6
employees.
to 20.
full-time.
So or we could just say full-time equivalent. Yeah,
That's gonna be tricky for people,
knowing what,
because a lot of them are going to be part-time.
And I don't
Well,
know that
that's
that's gonna
better.
matter that much, for our purposes. I think if we just say 1 to 5 employees and, go with that, that's, bodies in the business.
Yeah, I don't think we should exclude full-time, because if I had a family, if my kids were in their teens, I want them to have part-time jobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then greater
I'm
than
not saying,
20.
I'm just saying it's a standard way of measuring, so
Mhm.
if you got 2 half-time employees, you got 1 FTE.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we could break it into 3 categories, 1 to 5, 6 to 20, and greater than 20.
Mhm.
You can go 6 to 10 and,
You think 6 to
I
10
think
and
so.
greater than 10?
Yeah,
yeah,
it'd be fun.
Okay. Greater than 10. Okay, let's move on.
let's move, yeah.
Okay, and then Bob mentioned that we could potentially eliminate number 5,
Yeah,
but we could,
Yeah.
and that was with the thought that
that,
we were trying to hit 10.
but I think we're now trying to keep it under 20, so.
Yeah.
The
5 is the
six kind of
setup.
covers 5.
Right.
That's what you were thinking, Paul.
Yeah, yeah.
And all the rest.
Yeah, that's what I
Take
thought.
places to walk, that's almost the definition of a house.
Yeah.
So it seems to me.
So if you do that,
I've already got
then we
cut.
ought to put back in, I do not have, remember we had that, I do not have barriers, I don't feel like I have barriers.
Well, it's in there,
It's
it's the
still there.
very last.
Well, where is it? Oh, yeah,
Last
okay,
one, yeah.
okay, sorry, because we were gonna take that out.
I think you could, without losing any meaning, you could get rid of that number 5 and altogether.
I still think that, but
You think six covers 5?
yeah,
I agree.
That seems to be a consensus.
Take 5 out.
Okay,
the other thing I think. Sometimes when you take a survey and you read this question, you interpret a certain way, and the next question, oh, I wonder if I didn't understand that question, and I could see that happen with 5 and 6.
Yeah,
If you know,
right.
but. I'm sure we could always add more questions, we're not gonna.
maybe then I think we should probably move that first option to the top then, about no barriers.
Yeah,
Okay, so,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
okay, all right, so number 7, we had nothing there.
We haven't done 7 yet, right?
Oh, right, okay, right, we left off at 6. Okay, so number 7.
Hey, can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
In my comments to you today.
Oh, yeah, that's,
Kind of like to wherever it is. I want to kind of clarify. How we're gonna do this. I don't wanna spend a whole bunch of time on this and then feel like it's not really a valid survey.
oh,
I'd like
yeah.
to discuss that. If it's all right with you. Well. The guardrails I'm talking about, we mentioned it last time,
Yeah.
is who takes a survey?
Mhm.
And how do we know who takes it? And how do we know how many times somebody takes it?
Mhm.
And how do we deal with that? If it's just an open-ended thing, and we've had them in this town before, so I've kind of got some experience, they're like this. And they say, oh, it's only informational, but then you're at a policy meeting, and says, hey, 60% of the people on that survey said such and such, but that survey wasn't valid, and then it's too late to argue that. So I want the thing to be transparent and valid. I don't have an answer to that. One thing thought I had is, we don't put this on a monkey, we don't put it on paper, we send it to registered voters.
Hmm.
And we ask them to sign it. Then you know who filled them out.
Oh.
And I don't care about what they said. Now, I know what you're saying, better anonymous, right? I agree. There are ways to do that. Just look at the ballot box coming in, it said sign the envelope. You don't sign the survey, you sign the envelope. So we know you signed it, but we don't know what the survey said, somebody else comes.
But don't we also want,
There are ways to do that, and I'm not an expert at this, but I've taken surveys and I've filled out stuff, you probably all have. That's verified that you are eligible and you filled out this survey, but your name's not on the survey. I think there are ways to do that.
I'm the treasurer for the yacht club. We just did a blast to all the members, which is smaller than Town of Wayne, I think. You know, some people, but that cost was about 350.
Well, if cost is a problem, then are we doing this seriously or we're trying to do it on the cheap?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, so if we can, I'm trying to test the waters, if the Town of Wayne is serious about getting something legitimate, then pony up money.
I think
But
that's
if they're
why, I think that's why we're here.
we've
Yeah.
made a request
Yeah,
for
we want
$350.
And what I'm saying is it might be north of 3, it might be 5.
Well, here, then let's step back. What is the sample frame gonna be? What list of people are we gonna pick up that will build this thing? I've heard some ideas. but-
Well, I started out in my head with
Yeah.
registered voters.
Right, right, that's
Those
one.
are registered
That's
residents, full-time residents now, that registered voters.
Yeah.
That would be a
That's
pretty
one.
good sampling, because they're the ones that are gonna pay the bill.
Well, as Paul was pointing out, I think we want to get seasonal people as well. because
Yeah,
they
well,
all-
that may be, but that may be a different survey,
Well,
because
I don't know. It may, but, okay, one is registered voters,
I'm just
Yeah.
trying to come up with a system.
another one is be taxpayers.
Yeah,
Which wouldn't necessarily be residents, but it would include taxpayers.
Okay, there's another one.
Corporate.
Yeah.
Corporate entities and some other things, which is okay, I suppose.
I guess that's a bigger group,
A
right?
bigger group,
Well, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Now, if I send something to Lloyd, the taxpayer, that's you.
yeah,
But your wife's a citizen and a registered voter.
well, what about that?
Mm,
And are two per house?
Well, not necessarily.
Well, if they're two,
I think 2 per house, I mean, each person, each vote.
So I live by myself, I get 2 votes.
No, what I'm saying, one person.
I'm just
one
trying
survey.
to figure this out.
One person, one survey, because if you can't get in between a marriage and say, you two, let's say we're married. You and I have to agree on the survey before we send it in. Yeah,
That's right. So my wife and I would agree.
No.
well, we don't have to solve that this minute, but let's get some careful thinking going on.
Yes.
About what the sample survey goes to.
Well, I think it's a very good point, and it's unfortunate that Shannon isn't here because the question I have, and maybe somebody knows the answer to this, is do we have access to the town's email mail?
I think we do.
I think we can,
Not the email
blast
Not the email
out.
list, it would be the registered voter list
Well,
or the taxpayer.
my question was the email list and who was on the email list. And you know, is it, I mean, I suspect it's broader.
You know, the town meeting,
Voters.
like you said, it's the town meeting app. Yeah, email addresses, and if we wanted to do this in email, that's a problem, but let's assign somebody to just figure out who knows what. Who has what information and what would be a sample frame to use for the approach. But the idea of allowing both parties, we probably only get one tax bill, so we'd only allow one,
Right.
so.
So I think I see a couple of different questions that we're kicking around. I mean, some of them are logistical questions, as in, how do we communicate with these people?
Yeah.
But the threshold question to me is, who are we trying to communicate with? Now, you suggested registered voters.
Well, I just had to come up with something.
And that's a starting point, but I think it's, you know, it's obviously not the whole population. Ideally, if we could figure out a way to do it, I would say, well, we want to reach out to every person who is either a full-time or seasonal resident of Wayne. Regardless of whether they're a voter, regardless of whether they own property. Now, the vast majority of them are, but they're renters too. So actually,
Yes.
but so
Renters.
we don't want to exclude the renters either.
What should be a minimum age?
Pardon me?
Should there be a minimum age? You just stimulated me to answer that question.
Well, that's what good
I think
point.
18.
Well, I'd say 18, but you know,
Minimum age.
yeah,
You know, keep in mind also that when,
Well,
like,
if you're a voter, or you're not.
if you wanna survey, if you wanna find out, you know, Democrat, Republican in the state of Maine, you don't have to get a survey to every single person in the state of Maine. You get a statistical significant sample.
Mhm.
So, you know, we can say everyone over 18 that has breath, you know, put a mirror and if you're breathing, you're eligible to have a survey. Only those who are gonna do a survey are interested in Wayne anyway. Right? We're not, and that's who we want anyway. So that's not a bad thing. And all we need to do is get a, you know, 6.
The whole thing is this is. I don't
Just
think
needs-
it's gonna be a representative sample.
It needs to be legitimate.
That's what I'm getting at.
And just saying anybody who's 18, well, maybe you're from Wayne, maybe you're not. How do you know? Are you gonna prove it? You know what I mean?
Oh, you mean, how do you get the survey to that person?
Well, how do you know that this is an
An
accurate
18-year-old
thing?
could be it,
Can I
could
tell you
be
one
it.
other thing?
Yeah.
I agree. It'd be nice to have input from summer residents and non-residents. We're gonna have meetings that will do that. We're having them in the summer, right? When the rubber hits the road and this stuff gets implemented by cost or policy, it's at town meeting, it's registered voters only.
Mhm. Mhm.
Those are the people I think we should be surveying with the official survey, and then have an auxiliary thing if you want for the rest of the folks, which will give some input.
Well, all of some half or so of the shore, half or so of the shore property is owned by a non-resident,
Yes.
and they wouldn't be included.
No, but they could be included, but they wouldn't be included in the official survey.
Chris, yeah, you had a point?
I mean, they'd be included to get some input.
I think that
Now,
some of this kind of depends on, you know, what Survey Monkey can do or. you know,
Right.
And, you know, you can send surveys via email and then you only get one shot. So according to this,
What do you mean one shot?
you get one submit.
From the email that
Oh,
you sent the survey
yes,
to.
Yes, now you
So-
could always spin up another email and you could.
Yeah,
I have 50 email addresses. that I-
Yeah, right.
So, you know, I could always fill it out 3 or 4 times easily and just use a whole bunch of different email addresses.
Yeah, so that's a pretty good guarantee that you're not gonna get somebody hitting the button 10 times to file.
Right,
the
not in
survey.
1 second. They'd have to like on purpose, you know, use a different email.
Right, right.
And but it kind of means that we need to send the survey to a list of emails. We need to have.
We gotta have a list of some kind. Yeah.
Yeah.
so let's consult first of all, we'll need to know the facts of what's available and what's not at the town office. And then what else?
Well, I think so one issue that we can probably decide here is assuming we have access. Which we don't know for sure, but assuming we have access to multiple lists, including registered voters, property owners or property taxpayers. and permanent or part-time residents, what do we want to target it to? Do we want to limit it to voters? That's what I hear from you, Ford. Do we want it to be broader than that? Do we want it to be as broad as possible in terms of residents? I mean, obviously, we're not looking to survey people in New York. We're looking to survey people.
It is wide open though. I mean, you can do it from anywhere. So I'm not trying to be exclusive. I'm just saying when the rubber meets the road and we make official decisions, which we're gonna do from this,
Mhm.
hopefully, otherwise we're wasting our time. The people who decide that are the
Mhm.
residents. So as far as having a survey that says 48% of the people said this, it ought to be those people. Now, you could also say we extended this out for other input, and we have other input that says this.
Mhm.
But to make it legit for the town as to what we're gonna do for policy and cost, I think it should be courtesy vote.
So
A large
I
amount.
would like to
Yeah.
add something,
Yeah.
and we should also
I'm
get
interested.
input from Lynette. Everybody should have an opportunity to contribute. So one thought I had is that we should probably have a couple of questions in the survey about your residents. What I'm hearing is that we should probably have a question about, well, what I'm hearing is that, and what I think we should do is probably limit the survey to Wayne residents. I don't think we should limit it to, I believe, to people who are just have the ability to vote. Because people who have property in Wayne also have a stake in what happens in the town. And, they're paying taxes and they have an interest in what happens to the town. And I think their input is probably important to take into consideration in the comprehensive plan. But it might be very useful to us to gain some information about the profile of the person, of the people who are answering the survey. So what we might want to do is ask two questions about the people who are answering the survey.
I thought of that too, put that on there.
Are you a full-time resident, a part-time resident? Are you a property owner? Are you a renter? Maybe it's 4 questions,
Mhm.
but maybe we ask a little bit of demographic information
Very good.
about the people who are answering the survey. And that would give us some very valuable demographic information that we can glean some useful information about the profile of the respondents.
Mhm.
What if we don't even send it to people who are non-resident taxpayers? Who own property here and don't live here? We won't, that'll be nobody will get that information about
But
that.
I think that would be a missed opportunity to gain useful information from people who are affected by what happens in the town and who might have useful input about the future of the town.
Plus,
Personally, that's my.
the other thing that I'm
my
looking
personal
at
belief.
is we do have legal parameters here, including getting public input. And I'm looking to see if they define public, but I'm pretty sure
Right,
it's not defined narrowly as in registered voters. I'm not sure of the definition, but the general thrust is we're supposed to get broad public input from the community.
So-
That's our legal
So I
charge
guess
and our charge
as
from the
I
board.
mentioned earlier, my point is, we're gonna get input other than the survey. I'm just talking about the survey. I'm not talking about the meetings.
Yeah.
I'm not talking about somebody who can attend this meeting, and we've had so
Yeah.
many. And so there's plenty of opportunity for outside stuff. I'm just talking about stuff that down the road, somebody's gonna say, okay, we had a survey on this, and this is what they said. Well, who said that?
The survey.
And who were they?
Well, that's.
And that's when we show.
You know what I'm saying?
That's when we can.
I mean, it needs to be valid. I mean, everybody's nervous about voting stuff and all this stuff. Let's keep this as clean as we can.
So
And
we
as far
have,
as getting non-residents and other taxes, I agree, valuable information. But we'll maybe do that a different way.
a town of 1,000 people. You wanted 95% confidence. and the number of surveys in this sample survey. What number do you guys have in your head? How many we have to get out? Be 95% confident.
I don't think we can worry about statistical validity.
I don't think we need to
Okay, well, I was gonna
have
say,
power. I mean, you're talking about having power in our survey.
Generally,
Tell us
generally,
what they think.
278
200 for the populate
for
for
population
of
of 1,200.
1,200.
That's very doable. That's my.
what were you saying, then, Bob,
278,
is what?
you get.
That's for power.
Population of 1,000, if you get 278, you have a 95%
Confidence.
confidence.
I'm gonna guess if we got 278 returns on a targeted, we'd do very well.
Mhm.
I mean, I see some of these surveys, they're under 100, but we make policy decisions on those things.
Yeah,
So it needs to be accurate, you need to feel like it's valid.
but what else can you do? I mean, we did our best, we're gonna get a survey out, we're gonna spread it out, we're gonna give the opportunity. If we don't get that 278, and somebody says, where'd you get this idea? We got it from the best source of data we had.
All right.
You just did a little power analysis, huh?
Yeah.
Nice job.
Rask AI.
I did.
Nice job. That's what it's
So the
done.
other thing we don't know, I mean, obviously, we don't survey people, I mean, the pollsters make big money doing this stuff.
Mhm.
Does KV Cog have somebody who knows how to do surveys? Back to the minutes, if you can, I know we've approved those, one of the things we asked at the minutes, I asked her was to get us surveys from other towns and how they work. We didn't get that. I think that might be valuable, for how did they do it, and how did it work, and how did it work out?
Well, we could ask the state people, the people who are.
KV Cog, do they have any,
Yeah,
I mean, these people do this kind of stuff, we don't.
Yeah, yeah.
But I know from people I talk to, my own feeling, if the survey isn't done right, then you have a weak confidence in it, it's not good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It looks like the email address, this is more reading on here, and it's, they actually give you a custom link. To the to the survey
Mhm.
per email address,
Mm-hmm.
so you get one
One shot.
shot,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. And I
So if
think,
we send it to somebody, we send it to an email recipient, they get one crack at it.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and that's good. That
So
gets.
there's some guardrails.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I think my thinking was that we would do it by email, although I hadn't really distilled exactly what email list we were talking about using, supplemented by paper surveys. Now, I was thinking I think we talked about having them at the town meeting.
Mhm.
Now, the problem there is, okay, well, now you're potentially introducing a duplication
Right.
between somebody who already did it
And
online.
if
but
you,
didn't fill out.
talking about sample size of 80.
On the other hand, in this day and age, are there people who don't have email? Well, there are still some out there.
Yes, remember, we
you know?
have a very old population.
You know,
Yeah.
so,
Well,
yeah,
so,
Lynette?
in order to be on the town email list, you have to ask to be on the town email list. They don't glean
Right.
emails from any other documents coming in. And that email list includes seasonal residents.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I really like Paula's idea of an extra question 2, 3, 4, so that when the surveys come in, we could sort them and we could keep track of who is a year-round resident and who is seasonal. I think that's very good information. I also like including the seasonal with the regular, just on equal footing. We might look at the data differently, but to give them equal access because we are spending their money. I know it's only the people who show up at town meeting who make those decisions, but even with respect to our year-round population, the people who show up at town meeting is a fraction of our population, and we still go by what they say, and we spend the bulk of the money in this town, 70 some odd percent, is from waterfront property, as Lloyd pointed out, most of whom are seasonal. So a huge amount of our tax dollars are from people who do not live here. And I think it's important to give them equal access. And I think it's important to give them equal access to the town meeting. And I think it's important to give them equal access to the town meeting. And I think it's important to give them equal access to the town meeting. And I think it's important to give them equal access to the town meeting. And I think it's important to give them equal access to the town meeting. And I think it's important to give them equal access to the town meeting. And I think it's important to give them equal access to the town meeting. And I think it's important to give them equal access to the town meeting. And I think it's important to give them equal access to the town meeting. And I think it's important to give them equal access to the town meeting. And I think it's important to give them equal access to the town meeting. And I think it's important to give them equal access to the town meeting. And I think it's important to give them equal access to the town meeting. And I think it's important to give them equal access to the town meeting. And I think it's important to give them equal access to the town meeting. And I think it's important to give them equal access to the town meeting. And I think it's important to give them equal access to the town meeting. And I think it's important to give them equal to this, even though we might look at the data differently.
Okay, so the
So would you say we ought to go by
the tax list.
tax list? Lynette, you think we should go by
I think we should go
the
by,
property taxes?
yeah, well,
tax.
property
Oh.
owners. And
So we could do
yeah, sometimes only one person's name is on the deed. So I'm not sure how we reach as many people as possible. That would be a question for Shannon. I don't think that the town email list is the only thing that we should use because you have to request to be on it.
So 3 questions I propose adding to
Yeah.
gain demographic information to the survey is, are you a full-time voting resident of Wayne?
Mhm.
Are you a seasonal resident of Wayne? And do you own property in Wayne?
Are you a taxpayer? Will that function?
That will get to whether you're a taxpayer. If you own property, you pay taxes.
Yep.
And then with the responses to these questions, we can parse the data from the survey. We can subsect the data. So then we can take just the taxpayers and look at what their responses are. We can take just the full-time residents and see what their responses are.
Yeah.
And we can take just the seasonal residents and see what their responses are.
Assuming everybody fills those out, honestly. Now,
Yeah.
You have some other things on your list of,
no,
some other things on your list of things that need to be discussed? You got more things to discuss?
I'm not sure we're done with this.
Okay,
I think that's a good start. So now how do we manage that? If you're passing out paper ones, it's kind
So-
of off the cliff.
Go with
If you
that
are-
email.
If we're mailing them, physically mailing them to each taxpayer address, and we certainly have those,
Oh, well, then we need more money.
are we gonna do this right or not?
Yeah. but then
That's what I'm
we
saying.
need- Well, we did
I don't
request,
feel that's the right answer, but
some
we
funds
requested
Yeah.
$8,000
in the budget.
And I'm not big on spending money, but I am big on having
Mhm.
confidence and validity in what we're doing.
all right, again, we're back to having to talk to Shannon about all this and, could you do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
That'd be,
So
See
when
what
I
we-
said that we shouldn't use the town email list only, I didn't,
I agree.
I was not throwing my weight behind hard copies being mailed. I think the protections that SurveyMonkey offers are good enough. I do. And we can also advertise it if people don't have an email, which is still possible but rare, that surveys would be available at the town office for them to pick up, and we just keep a list of who has taken a paper copy that way, so that they can't, if they go to get one and they can be told, no, you received one by email. So that's that.
I must also say, it's impractical in this day and age to do all paper copies because the data input is just too cumbersome. We don't have people to do data input
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
paper, 100%
Effectively
paper.
cost a whole lot more than $350.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it-
yeah,
it
yeah.
would
Send
be
out paper and bring in
impractical.
paper and.
Oh, yeah, the postage would
now,
be all,
when you get it, when you get.
I
it-
know that, but I'm just trying to make it legit.
Yeah, yeah.
When you get a,
And if you stop passing out paper copies, I'm good.
We want to
Yeah.
limit,
Yeah.
I just want to say, we want to limit the number of paper copies to the absolute minimum. Because the data entry that will be required from the paper copies will be extremely cumbersome.
So could the paper copies be required that you put your name on it? Because you're gonna be able to compare that to to that if you need to the monkey, right?
So I have a thought. I have a
It's just an
thought.
email address, not a first name, last name.
So I have a thought about I had thought when we are talking to the town meeting that we'd say, oh, we've got some paper copies you can fill out, or you can go to the town office. Instead, maybe what we should just highlight is that the survey is going out. It's going to everybody on such and such a
On the Google
list.
group, on the, I mean, Shannon sends out emails via a Google group
Mhm.
email.
Right.
Right, so.
Right,
That's
but here's a,
not everybody's on it.
before I finish my point, but it's that, so let people know, if you're not on that list and you would like to take part in this survey, please contact Shannon and she'll put you on the list. That,
That's great.
which accomplishes much the same thing as saying there's a stack of paper, but it gets around the issues about paper, because I agree. We want to do this electronically if at all
So
possible.
you could say that on June 10th, you could say, hey,
Yeah.
if you want to take the survey.
Yeah.
Make sure you add your name to the.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
So we're only gonna do emails.
I think that's where we
You
seem to
think,
be
you think
headed,
that works? Think
because,
we can get enough people working?
yeah,
I'm listening.
One thing I can do, I just ask ChatGPT, how about other towns in Maine do it? And I got Wyndham, Kennebunkport, Poland, Denmark, Harrison, and Rochester. I don't have time to go to each of these links and find out, but I can inquire, and I'm not gonna do any more than the ones I've listed. I have 6. I'll inquire them questions.
Mhm.
What questions do you wanna ask? How did you distribute the survey? Would be one important question.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Any others?
How did you collate it? If you had multiple
If
ways
you had
of taking the survey,
physical-
how did you collate it? And how did you validate that they're accurate? And these are legitimate people.
Okay, so I
One
want to be
person
very
wanted to-
specific with my question. So how did we disseminate the survey?
Maybe you could just get a copy.
Well,
Got the survey.
well, you gotta
got
see,
it done.
you gotta see, some of these are 200 pages.
Just a survey?
Yes,
Just a survey?
well, the document, that comprehensive plan, yeah.
Okay, well,
I'm not a
Yeah.
speed reader
We're
there.
not looking at I mean, I think we're doing quite well on what we're
Yeah.
including.
right down it.
Yeah, I'm just looking for any, if we rely on other towns, I'm gonna.
How they did it.
Yeah,
How they did it, and any other
Yeah.
questions you guys might wanna
Yeah,
ask,
yeah, yeah.
I'm not gonna go back again.
Yeah, I think-
Hopefully Shannon can get us that info. We asked for it. Hopefully she can
Yeah.
come up with something.
but I think that's very helpful, Bob, and I'd encourage you to do that. I think that'll be very useful to know what some other towns have done
Yeah.
and how they, and again, not saying, tell us every question you asked, but
Right,
what method did you use to send the questions
Yeah.
out? You know, what were the mechanics of it?
yeah, and
Did you, and you know, did you use the tax rolls? Did you
Yeah.
use?
they might say, boy, we did this and we really regret it. Boom, boom.
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah.
one question is, how do you distribute, and would you do anything different?
And what response rate did you get?
What response rate? Okay.
That would be useful information.
Yeah,
Yeah.
read
Thank
it down,
you,
'cause I won't be able to
Yeah,
remember.
yeah. All right, let me just make a note about this. So I'm gonna talk to Shannon about what lists
Right.
we have available and have access to. And Bob will look into what other towns have done.
Maybe when you talk to her, ask her the same questions that he's gonna look at. How do these surveys work a lot of times? How do you make sure it's legit? How does that work?
Yeah.
That's the second question.
You're a good researcher, Ford.
I got research. I did a lot.
You're
Surveys.
concerned about the
I live
validity,
by myself and I work by myself and
What
stuff.
did they do survey monkey?
but you're worried about the
Okay.
validity and that's
Very important to me.
Oh,
And to pull up people.
Survey monkey or-
We've lived in a world where everything was suspect. So we
What
need to
response rate did you
guide
get?
us with- yeah.
So
And what specific, what did you use for a sample frame?
Okay,
Yeah.
That's the technical.
yeah.
Yeah,
What did you use? And then if you get that could be the other one.
yeah, agreed.
okay.
Okay,
So
so.
thanks for diverting and going there.
No,
No,
that's
I
fine.
think that was a useful discussion.
I think so.
And
Yeah, we didn't talk about sampling until now. And
Yeah.
so now we did.
Yeah.
And so that was very helpful.
yeah. All right, back to, I think we were on question
Question
7.
7. All right, and so you had a you had a comment, Ford, about question 7. And it says rework LUO current provisions, conservation lands defined.
Yeah, okay. Let me see one that.
So the question is, in what ways would you like to see the town of Wayne protecting the environment? So this is the question that where we get at the natural resources. And it's a rank the choices question.
So first of all, I'd say, let's take protecting and call it protect.
Okay,
That's just a word thing. So what was my comment on that? Rework, okay. LUOs are land use ordinance. And the land use ordinance already does a lot of this stuff. So we asking, do people want to have additional protections beyond what the land use ordinance already has? Or is that just generic, if we want to protect this, which everybody's gonna say yes?
Well, I mean, I think in a sense, this is kind of like zero-based budgeting in the sense that we're saying, starting from scratch, what's important to you? Maybe some of it's covered already in the land use ordinance, maybe it's not. We'll figure that out later. But I think ultimately what we're looking for is people's objectives and desires, regardless of what's already out there. That's
Yeah.
my take on it.
I mean, we are supposed to be managing forests in the lakeshore zone, but we don't.
Well, we absolutely do.
Oh, we don't. The CEO does not do
Well, I
that.
don't know about that, but in the town ordinance. it
Oh, yeah,
mentions
yeah,
that.
we're supposed to.
Yeah, we're supposed to
So,
be
right,
doing
right,
it.
Yeah, so that's an enforcement thing, not a zoning thing.
Okay, it's correct. But we should be, promote, blah, 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 blah,
Well,
blah.
I understand what
You know-
you're saying, and maybe if that's what you're gonna do, then that's fine. I mean, it's kind of a candy
You know-
list, so I don't know how valuable it is, because we
That-
already do all of that.
Well, I think it can be valuable, if we feel that those issues are in the ordinances, but they're not getting enough attention, that maybe we can direct our employees, our town employees, to focus more on certain areas because that's what the public wants. So it can be useful information to have people
Mhm.
stress the fact that, watershed area properties need more attention. Something like,
Yeah, and I just want to point that there are two items that were added at Lynette's, through Lynette's comments. The last two, promote keeping land in tree growth. And then the second one was promote forever farms. And Lynette, I added to that one through conservation easements. Because I looked up forever farms because I wasn't really familiar with them. And what I learned was that forever farms are typically perpetuated through the use of conservation easements, typically through land trusts. So I added through conservation easements because I thought that might help survey takers understand forever farms a little bit
yeah,
better.
I think that's a very good addition. Yeah.
Okay,
Can I make a suggestion on that?
sure.
Promoting keeping land in tree growth.
Yeah, I want,
Or promote enrolling land in tree growth might be better, because once you're in, you're pretty much gonna keep it there.
Yep.
enrolling, yeah, I thought we might be able to reword that one a little bit. So
And
promote enrolling land.
promote the enrollment of land in tree, forest land in tree growth, maybe something like that. And then,
Say it one more time.
promote the enrollment of forest land in tree growth. In other words, you're promoting private landowners to go ahead and enroll in tree growth tax law. And I think the farm question should be the same. I think the farm question should be promote enrolling farmland in the farm and open space program, not forever farms or conservation easements.
That's kind of a slang.
Because tree growth tax law and farm and open space tax law are kind of all the same.
Yeah.
Whereas conservation easements and stuff is a whole different thing. You could own forest in that, you can own farms in that, whatever.
So it's promote. the
So if your idea,
enrollment
Lynette,
of-
I'm assuming that your idea is to promote keeping farmland as farmland, keeping forest land as forest land. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
promote the enrollment of forest land in tree growth. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I think so.
And then promote,
Promote the enrollment of farmland.
So I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understand that. Promote the enrollment of forest land in tree growth.
Or
What is-
into the tree growth tax program, if you want, that's.
Oh, so now we're talking specifically about
Well,
the tax.
that's what tree
program.
growth is, that's what she's referring to, so you're right, that maybe need to be spelled out better.
Yeah, I said I just was using what came off the top of my head and it's
Right,
not,
generic word.
yeah, it's not the official language. So Ford's
Right,
absolutely
right.
right. Those are specific programs that
into
allow
the tree
people to
growth
keep-
tax program.
yeah.
Tree growth tax program, and the farm one is farm and open space tax program.
Promote the enrollment of farms.
Farmland. Or farm, yeah, farms is fun.
Farms. Into,
I'd say farmland, because. For example, we farm on other people's land, we rent the land, they're not farm. But we farm on their farmland, and because we do that and we're eligible for farm open space, they can enroll that. Whereas on their own, they probably couldn't.
right,
That's confusing.
it's all good. Promote the enrollment of farmland into
Yes, the farm and open space
program.
tax program, however we say it on tree growth.
Yeah, that's good.
Is that correct?
I think that's good.
Okay, I got it now.
Now, one thing that you could do, is delete this reference, to insects, native plants and fungus growth. That's like saying. Protect 5% of the biomass and not worry about all the rest of them. It's just. And people will regard it as a silly thing, if you just take those things out,
Protect insects and
No,
pollinators
no.
and protect native fungus growth.
take insects and pollinators, planting native plants and native fungal growth. Out,
Take all those out.
remove them.
Does everyone agree with that?
Okay, what's the reasoning, Lloyd?
Well, why not protect,
What about
All-
wildlife?
well, wildlife takes care of a lot of
Yeah,
it,
that's his,
But-
that's his.
but these are just silly things, that's all.
Oh,
And they're
Wildlife.
detail.
wildlife does cover that, doesn't it? I mean, cause if I wanted to say insects and polymers, that's wildlife. Yeah, I see your point.
Planting native plants, there's no planting going on, so that we don't need to worry about that, not in this town. And
Well,
protecting.
wait, no, but there is, because that's part of the whole Lake Smart program is planting native plants along the shoreline
Right.
to help
Right.
stabilize the
Okay,
shoreline.
Okay, well, protect that,
Whoa,
that's the addition of protect Lacey Street and other water bodies.
Right.
And we might say Lake Smart somewhere. We might say Lake Smart someplace.
yeah. So.
This would be a logical place.
So wildlife and nature around the lakes is different than in general.
Well, that's true. So then maybe we should, but we should add the Lake Smart program somewhere. But we should remove these three things about native fungus growth. I don't even know what that means, but those three things can go.
But if we do that, then we need to take out protect wildlife.
No.
Why would you? take-
Wildlife is a more general category.
Wildlife is different than
Well, what do
insects
you
and
think?
pollinators. They're a different category of creature.
Well, we could,
Another,
these.
probably all the same, but you're redefining it down below.
You,
The suggestion I would make, instead of
Kingdom,
protect,
phylum, class, order, family, genus, species.
I'm saying,
Good. I forgot all about
just
that.
ridiculous, that's all, these three things, and there's no need for it, and it complicates responding to the question.
I mean, I'd like to suggest something
Hmm,
that might help.
sure.
In the comprehensive plan, under natural resources, it's a pretty good list of stuff.
Okay, let's look at that.
That,
I didn't.
well, just the,
Oh, the index,
It's just the table of contents. I mean, that's got all the categories.
That's good.
Yeah.
And then that
what
way,
are you on, the natural resources?
yeah, so.
Page 4, IV.
So,
yeah.
if we're asking people to rank, we could just have them rank those lists, more or less. And then that way we can actually use the information to guide our efforts towards
That seems good.
the national resources.
And how many number wise are there?
Yeah, there's,
Can we just say, pick the top 5? That way they don't have to go through.
Maybe we shouldn't say things like that silly, because that's a little offensive.
Well, I wouldn't.
Because,
What-
you
I
know,
want to say it. I would delete do you understand what I'm saying? Then delete these things entirely. Don't have to say anything about them.
can we say,
Because
I hear what you're saying, that's a huge list. though.
It is, it's a
Yeah.
good list.
How about on protect wildlife, instead of saying protect wildlife, promote the conservation of wildlife,
that's nice.
and that would include these
Mhm.
other things. And you could say promote the conservation of wildlife, including, I wouldn't even say including, just.
Yeah. You're just getting down in the
Right,
weeds
right,
here
right.
into a subject that's of limited interest to most of the readers.
Promote the
Conservation.
conservation of living things. How
Okay,
about that?
Well, that sounds a little bit.
that's not exactly wildlife, but, okay,
Except.
But
except
insects,
the-
pollinators, and all those other things are
Right.
living things that we need to protect.
me and the trees. And, yeah, E. coli and all this stuff.
Right.
Don't include the Lone Star Tech in that.
And
But I think your suggestion is a very good one, Chris, that, you know, we've already got a whole list. It's a little unwieldy, I agree, but it's, you know,
It can be whittled down.
it's a good place to
But
start.
Chris, can you say, choose the top 5?
Yeah, I mean.
You don't, they wouldn't have to, the monkey doesn't have to.
I mean, some of these can be combined
Well,
also, too,
okay.
you know, they don't. They're pretty detailed, and but, you know, wetland resources covers 3 things on the list. But, you know, are you concerned about floodplains? You know, some people may be, because their house may be in a floodplain.
Yeah.
Mhm.
there's a whole bunch of questions right there.
But, but you could focus on, I'm just trying to think, if we get all this information, how do we use it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And we've got the categories here. And so it'd be good to say, okay, well, it looks like a lot of people are concerned about shoreline areas, or they're less concerned about vernal pools. You know,
So it'd be more like, what are you most?
People are concerned about vernal pools.
well, I'm just saying, I'm just doing that.
So would you have a list of,
Vernal pools.
list these and what are
Vernal
concerned
pools.
about them?
Yeah, or just like, what's your ranking, how would you?
So there are temporary water areas where basically when, in the spring, when the melt comes down.
Oh, okay.
But then they
Yeah.
dry out
We have one.
during
yeah.
part of the season.
Yeah.
But they are critical part of the ecosystem.
Yes.
They're,
They're
for
very
example,
important.
the salamanders absolutely have to have them to reproduce, and the
Okay.
salamanders are the single largest biomass in the entire forest.
I didn't mean.
Really?
I didn't mean to pick on vernal.
That's okay. We'll talk about it eventually, Chris.
You see, we're gonna come to the defense of vernal pools.
Yes. We feel very.
They have a set
Vernal
that
pools.
we need to support.
All right, so let's approach this critically and kindly.
So I think, okay, so can we agree that we'll work this to basically incorporate the list? And maybe trim it down a little bit. Some of these can probably be consolidated,
Yeah,
you know, like wetland resources and wetland mapping and estimated acreage. I mean, that's all wetlands.
So,
I know.
yeah.
So, but I think that's a great idea. Let's, rather than reinvent the wheel, we got the wheel right here in front of us.
Make it smaller.
Yes, make it a more compact wheel.
And you know, the other thing we can look at is the document that was provided by Inland Fisheries and Wildlife and see if they have.
Yeah,
a-
Yeah, that was a very good
categories.
document there.
Yeah.
Very good, yeah.
yeah, that's a good suggestion, yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to question 8.
So who's gonna do this?
I'm gonna do
You
it.
can do it.
Rework to mirror the table of contents from the 2016 comp plan in the inland fisheries and wildlife document. Okay,
We're loading you up, but thank you, Paul.
yeah. All right, question 8. We took the fire truck out.
Mhm.
Is there anything else in
Well, one
question
thing that
8?
occurs to me is sidewalks.
Okay, oh yeah, you mentioned
Did
sidewalks.
I mention it in here?
You had that in your.
Okay,
Something
because-
about, something
The
about
sidewalks are
sidewalks.
this basic piece of infrastructure that every municipality is expected to provide. But it's very, very expensive.
Yeah.
It would cost $600,000 to produce a system from the school all the way over the way to the, so it obviously cannot be done at once.
Yeah.
But the question, do we need sidewalks? And then that may be where my concern with North Wayne came. Because North Wayneers, I understand, there may be only a few people, but maybe you know this, North Wayneers don't seem to be mentioned explicitly in this anywhere. And there
That's
is-
nothing new, boy.
What?
That's nothing new.
Okay, then
But I agree with you, yeah.
Well,
let's
the thing
think of
that-
the different ways that it can be, and maybe this place needs some
The thing
sidewalks.
that I'm concerned about though,
Well,
Lloyd,
no,
you,
but
you
it's
just educated me on how much it costs. And
Yeah.
you're telling me that it's almost cost prohibitive.
Yeah,
There's a lot of nature trails around here. Somebody sees sidewalks and if they don't have your knowledge of how much it costs, yeah. I'm gonna rate that
Not only
high.
cost a bill, the maintenance of them.
Yeah.
I
Either
want
way.
to make a comment about sidewalks. I was at a select board meeting where it was almost decided that snow removal wouldn't be done on the sidewalks because it wasn't felt to be a valid service for the
You
population.
know, it's weird, some cities require the owner of that land to keep the sidewalk clean.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, yeah.
space in front of the business, but we have so few businesses in the village.
So that's why we have a sidewalk, yeah.
And so there would be only tiny little bits that would be done.
Yeah,
So-
I'm just saying.
You know.
but it's true, it's right.
But so we have included the sidewalk maintenance in the snow plowing contract in the town of Wayne. But the person who has the snow plowing contract didn't want to do the sidewalks. And the select board almost didn't hold them to that aspect of their contract.
Well, they need to sub it out then.
So, but the public comment was strong enough to uphold the need to have them. Uphold to do the sidewalks. So if we're going to have sidewalks, we've got to keep them plowed in the winter.
I would. I'm not gonna say this is. Wrong opinion, but I would really not want sidewalks in here. Cause if we think they're just cost prohibitive. People who are taking the survey, unless we explain. Sidewalks are $600, building larger fire station is $500,000, and we itemize those things, if we don't itemize them. They have
You
no
mean the
idea,
cost?
yeah, if we don't put numbers on here and we ask people to
Mm.
vote. They're gonna,
Well, let me, Paul and I were actually talking about that exact issue, partly in response to Ford's comments about the impact on the tax base, you know, which is a very valid concern that we're all concerned about. If you think it through, what we'd really like to do in the ideal world is do a cost benefit analysis on every issue, you know?
Mhm.
Oh, okay, is this, what kind of a public good does this provide? Well, what's the cost gonna be? Because maybe sidewalks are a wonderful idea, but if they're gonna cost $1 million, no, thank you, you know?
Right.
My personal opinion is that's beyond the scope of what we are charged with doing or capable of doing. Because to do that kind of cost benefit analysis for everything we're going through,
yeah,
if you think it's complicated now, that's gonna make it 1,000
Right.
times more
Do
complicated.
you have cost benefit analysis expertise? We didn't have an opportunity to ask you
No.
that. Okay. So I believe that no one in the committee has cost benefit analysis expertise.
I have,
You have, you,
Like you should teach it for 3 years.
okay, so
Okay,
Well,
so, I mean,
but it's more than that, it's getting the
Yeah.
cost benefit on the.
Richard, I agree with you, we can't, if we do that, one, we gotta do it all.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna be there for the next 20, we're gonna take 10 years just to write this out.
We're already there.
Additional
I,
sidewalk.
I
Go
also
ahead.
think that, I can't tell if someone else is talking, sorry.
Yeah.
I also think that, this is to give guidance and framework to people who do make these proposals and decisions going forward. And this is what happened with the internet. We spent, I don't know how many years, 5 years going round and round on how to handle the internet. And we almost went this way and we almost went that way. And it's a good thing we didn't. And now we are where we are. But it did give the select board direction to pursue options, to look into it, to see what, if anything, could be done to meet the desires of the town, the citizens of Wayne. And I think that's where we are now. And I think sidewalks fit that category. We might only
Okay.
get a few 100 feet of sidewalk somewhere, but maybe a little bit more is better than no more. Maybe that is where we
Yeah.
want to put our money, but that's not our decision to make.
If they close the school, we're not gonna need it. We're not gonna need that.
Yes, for
Okay, so. Can I look at some other things on 18?
yes.
Sure, okay. I have a couple-
wait, are
So
we
we
gonna
add
add sidewalks?
Yes,
Yeah,
Okay.
I have no problem now.
Okay,
That talking.
right. Go ahead,
Um,
Cory.
so are we going to call it build more sidewalks?
Expand.
Expand sidewalk network in town?
That's good.
All right.
We're referring to in the village, basically, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's the only place I would think. And maybe we should be explicit about that, say, add sidewalks in
Wait.
village and maybe North Way.
yeah,
I wouldn't say maybe, this is the way you want.
Oh, okay.
I think what Paula said, I think is really good. Expand the sidewalk network in the village.
In the
No.
village and North Wayne?
I wouldn't say no.
there isn't any. there's
Maybe
no-
That's for the next
No.
comprehensive plan.
How about just expand the sidewalk network?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, let's,
Do what we want.
Yep, that's good.
yeah. If they may have a need here, I don't know.
Okay. Okay,
Next,
Okay, so I had a suggestion,
for 8. correct?
yes,
Mhm.
improve infrastructure. I had roads and brush control.
Add roads.
Well,
Sorry, roads and what?
You
Roads
had add
And
roads.
brush control, meaning brush control around along the roads.
Now, do you mean add new roads? I wasn't sure what you meant there.
No, but.
Cause it says
What would you like
add
to-
roads.
How would you like to improve infrastructure? I'd like to see some of the roads improve.
Surfaces.
Services.
Well, just improve, road improvement, and that includes things like ditching
yeah,
and
okay.
brush control,
Oh,
I think,
okay.
down.
Let's add
Okay,
that.
so,
Yeah.
I have
I mean, we're just looking at.
included repair town-owned culverts and upgrade town-owned bridges.
Well, where do you get?
That's on the next page of the printout.
Yeah,
Okay,
all right, so.
so you could take out the, you could take, if you did that, you could take out the culverts, because that would include culverts. Improve road, we're looking at infrastructure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Road infrastructure.
Yeah, but I specifically want to include the culverts because we've been looking very specifically at the culverts in the grant. And there are very specific improvements that need to be done to the culverts. So I have a special interest in
Leave
the
it if you want,
culverts.
to me, that'd be another road, but whatever you wanna do that.
Right. So give me the language you want to include there.
Okay, so again, the question, in what ways would you like to see the town of Wayne improve infrastructure
Repair roads,
or maintain roads in good condition?
Yeah, that's a good,
I mean, I think everybody's gonna agree with that. That's good.
Yeah.
Well,
But that's good information to have because
We're
every
ranked
year,
choices, we're ranked choices.
Yeah.
there's a huge discussion when around budget time. How much money do we put to roads?
Yeah.
It
You can
it
put on there, Paul, you can put that, including brush control, put that right with it.
Right, good,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, that's some of that is,
Gotcha.
So the other one I had was something about the dams, I'm just, the dams I mentioned here, the dams are, I'm just looking at the town's
That's a good
infrastructure,
point.
the dams are
Good
big
point.
infrastructure.
yeah,
I don't, I just, that went through my head, I put it on the list.
yes, there ought to be a mention of the dams.
Because eventually, the dams can be big price tags eventually.
Major.
Well, the
yeah,
dams come under the next question.
Oh, okay.
And when you say dams, are you talking about pollution control device too?
No, I'm talking about the dams in Wayne, which would be the North Wayne Dam. And the one in Waynesville.
Okay, not the Dead River.
That's not.
Okay, so
Oh, that's-
question 9 includes repairing town-owned dams that require upgrades and enhancements.
Okay, this is a climate question here.
Yeah,
It's still infrastructure. It says right in the question, it's an infrastructure upgrade. It
Yeah.
just happens to relate to
Yeah.
climate.
Yes,
Yeah,
so they're kind of related questions, because.
Yep.
8 is an infrastructure question,
mhm,
9 is an infrastructure question.
yeah, yeah.
So could 9 be a more specific kind of thing, like your culvert thing? Could that be a more specific infrastructure? I don't know. You've got to get it, replacing culverts.
Well, I think there's some overlap between eight.
Yeah.
Well, culverts are mentioned.
Twice, yeah, both of them, yeah.
We could take it out, I mean. Undersized for damage.
Yeah, there is some
We
duplication.
could take the culverts out of 8.
Yeah,
Maybe add something else
You
in there.
know, you're right, if you say. Undersize or damage, you could take it out, yeah.
I could take it out of 8 and
Yeah,
leave it
yeah,
in 9.
yeah, I think that makes sense.
And I added one item to number 9 at Lynette's recommendation. And I changed the wording a little bit on that one, Lynette, because you said in the watershed, but I thought maybe that was too general. And I thought maybe you meant by watershed, maybe you meant the shoreland protection zone.
No, I
Please.
really did mean watershed. Because last year, 2 years ago, the watershed survey, I was part of that, and we were in areas that I never gave a thought to the fact that those areas were watershed. And
But what watershed?
and Androscoggin, Pocasset, all the 30-mile river watershed, that's the term. The 30-mile river watershed.
Well, but that's not the only one.
But we have 2 watersheds in the town of Wayne.
And we can list them both. Or we can just say watershed areas, which would cover everything.
But every bit of the town is in a watershed, which is why I was confused by the reference to the watershed.
Well, then we should be looking at all of them because
You say watershed, that includes them all.
That includes all of the land.
Right.
yeah,
Every bit of the land is in a watershed.
Right.
So maybe we should just say evaluate the stability of unpaved roads. But what I was thinking is that what you meant was that the maybe the instability of those roads but maybe it's the risk of those roads in the shoreline protection zone.
Which is a very small percentage of the roads.
yeah, I really was thinking way beyond the shoreland protection zone because
Okay.
what we discovered in that watershed survey.
Mhm.
Okay, so just evaluate the stability of unpaved roads.
Yeah.
Does that do it?
Okay,
I think it does, yeah.
out in the shoreline protection zone.
Take it out.
I didn't delete it.
And there's one word missing. It should be evaluate the stability of
Oh, yeah, thanks.
unpaved
Got
roads.
it.
Should we,
What infrastructure upgrades? I'm thinking this is gonna cost. Evaluate is. Help me out why that word evaluates there.
where are you?
Maybe improve, maybe we should say improve the stability.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yep, that's better.
thank you.
Some of these,
Good eye.
some of these roads, should we say town roads here?
Nope, I really think,
We want the town to be evaluating and improving private roads.
I think the
Well,
town,
that's a good, yeah, sorry, go ahead, Lynette.
I think the town should at least be involved with, okay, promote the improvement. Promote the stability or something, because the town should be involved in that. If somebody's got a deteriorating road that's impacting a stream that's a tributary to Androscoggin Lake, it's a problem. Even if it's a private road, how do we do that?
Yeah, yeah,
Right,
good point.
right now, I believe, Lynette, how you do that is you call DEP, that's under their jurisdiction.
Hmm.
What is DEP?
Department of Environmental Protection.
Oh, okay,
That's the state
This is
department,
state.
okay.
environmental protection. They have a lot of rules about that stuff.
Yeah. But you make a good point, Lynette, that.
But by promoting it, the town could do that.
It's an educational intervention.
Yeah.
Well, from our point, from DEP, it's an enforcement.
Right, but what I'm saying is at the town level, you could promote, it's an educational intervention.
Okay, so promote something there. Yep, I don't have any problem with that.
All right, so we're gonna say promote and improve, or just promote, or,
Just you can say.
Promote
you could-
the improved
you could-
stability of unpaved roads.
You can promote the evaluation and improvements.
Promote the improvement,
the improved stability is what you said. Promote the improved stability of unpaved roads.
okay, got it.
Okay,
Woo,
Yeah, that's all right.
we
Hey,
are really
This is why we do
obsessed
this.
with this, it's good.
Let's go, can we go back to 8?
Yeah.
and I just wanted to clarify, so we decided in 8, we're going to add a bullet about maintaining roads, including brush control?
Yeah, maintain roads in good condition, including brush control, period.
Okay,
So this is ranked choice. So the other suggestion I had, and I was gonna see here, was another, well, two things. The option 2, an answer to be ensure, and this language may not be just that long, but ensure that all current town infrastructure is kept properly maintained before taking on new infrastructure projects.
Wait, where is that? I'm not,
It's in his.
In one of
so
Ford's
much.
notes.
oh, on your notes, okay.
And that is, let's not go taking on new things until our existing infrastructure is kept in good shape. And then if you wanna go on, that's fine.
okay,
Just as a choice,
yeah,
to rank it,
Oh, I see.
there'd be a ranked choice, yeah.
Yeah, because most of with one exception, I think they're all improvements. The one that's already kind of maintenance is the one we just talked about, we just maintain roads in good condition. Just kind of a subset of what you're talking about, just maintain what we've got in good shape.
Right, and so if we're improving in infrastructure, one way of doing it is keep it well maintained.
Yeah.
So we took out fire truck, we added sidewalks, we added roads. We're gonna keep the town office,
I don't know.
Yeah, that's definitely an infrastructure improvement that's been on the table for a long time.
Yeah,
so. The only other thing I have is the establish high-speed internet, I think that's kind of a moot point at this point.
Now, I don't think the entire town is covered though.
One way or another, may not be how you want to be covered, but it is covered.
There are a lot of roads that don't have either spectrum or fiber. They go wireless.
You know, a lot of people are using that.
Satellite.
Oh, satellite, yeah, right, but you need open, you need a northern sky.
Pretty close.
All right, do we all agree to include an additional item in number 8, ensure existing infrastructure is well maintained before taking on new projects?
Yes.
New infrastructure projects, yeah,
Mhm.
which maybe, if that's redundant, involved. you can scratch it, we'll leave that to the editor. You,
And if we're gonna do that, I would suggest we revisit the maintain roads in good condition and just, and make it instead. Improve the condition of of roads, including brush control.
okay then,
Otherwise, we're,
yes,
yeah,
we don't wanna maintain them as they are,
right.
we want to improve it, other ones would like to get a little fun. Thank you.
Improve the condition of roads
Yeah,
in good condition?
no, including brush control.
Oh, improve the condition of roads,
Do we wanna say public roads?
including brush control.
Do we wanna say public roads or do we
No.
wanna include private roads?
You're including private roads, so only just, that's.
Yeah, that probably should be, this is a town thing, that should probably, just put the word town roads.
You could say public and private.
We call.
But the town
Oh,
doesn't
but
do
we
private
don't-
roads.
Now, the town should not be responsible for private roads.
Okay, got it.
Some private roads are better than public.
Is that it for
That's true.
8?
Yeah, did we take out the high speed internet or gonna leave that in?
Take out what?
The high speed internet?
I think we should keep it in, I mean,
I agree.
yeah.
Keep it in. I think we should keep it in. I think it's a important infrastructure element.
It is, I just don't think the town should be responsible for
Well, let's see what people say.
it.
Yeah. One question also logistically about the survey, I know, and I know we've touched this before, but is it possible, whenever we have a list like this, to say, or something else that we haven't thought of?
We can't do that if we like.
This
We
one.
cannot do that, all right, so that's just not an option, because I do worry that, you know, we've overlooked something here, on the other hand, we can't think of everything,
Well,
so.
here's one thing we can think of though, and it's an uncertainty, but the Tempe Bridge thing is gonna be a big eater of debt capacity for this town.
Upgrade town-owned bridges is listed.
Yeah,
Okay, but
it's under question 8.
let's make sure that we have Tempe Bridge or something,
I can put a comma and say e.g. Tempe Bridge.
right? That's all you need to do, because there may be that there'll be some significant state grants and other things, but that could be $1 million operation and we're gonna be responsible for.
That's
it.
already in the works, right?
Yeah, there,
So I don't,
I think we're gonna,
I sent a grant option to Shannon that I
Yeah,
thought would
yeah.
cover it.
It's already a
Yeah.
capital reserve
Yes.
fund established for it.
yeah,
I
Well,
suggest we don't put
that-
Tempe
that-
Bridge on it, just bridges, period.
yeah.
You don't want me to put example Tempe
I
Bridge?
don't think so, it's already in the works, so we got other bridges.
But
too.
it's gonna be a big function of what we can.
I mean, this bridge evidently needs repairs as well, this North
It
Wayne
does.
Bridge.
That's a state road, isn't it?
State did the guardrails on that, yeah.
Linda, did you say that they already have the money for it?
They don't have the money, they've just established a capital reserve account for it.
Oh,
That's,
okay.
So I think it's a, I don't know if it's a budget item or if they're just establishing the account this year, but it's like Ford said, it's in the works. It's happening.
So I'm just thinking in the terms of this, we're looking 10 years down the
right,
road.
during this tenure
Maintain
period.
our bridges.
Okay, so do we keep example Tempe Bridge or take it out?
I'd say take it out myself.
All right, let's take a vote here.
I'm
All in favor of including a reference to Tempe Bear Bridge, raise your hand.
Is Tempe Bridge, what,
It's the one that is between Dexter Pond and Wilson Pond on Mount Pisgah Road.
that,
The-
is that expensive?
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, that's the one that says rated 22.
Okay, we got one in favor, which is Lloyd. Is anybody else? Two in favor? Okay, Lynette, how do you vote?
I don't think we need to include it because I think it already is included.
Okay, so, so let me be explicit. We have two in favor of including, how many say we should not include Tempe Bridge especially?
Yeah.
It's
I don't
one,
think
two,
so.
I'll go with that, so that's 3 to 2.
Yeah, sorry,
Okay,
Okay,
so,
all right.
well, they could still appear in this report.
oh yeah,
as
oh,
one of the things
absolutely.
that Need to be.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
We'll
Yeah,
leave
yeah,
this
yeah.
generic
What
here.
about
All right.
Sunrise?
Okay,
I think
Okay.
if we put Tempe Bridge, most people are going to go, where is that?
And I learned something.
Upgrade, all right, 9, all right, we've talked a little bit about 9. I think we're finished with 8. I think we
Good.
got
Yeah,
9,
good.
prioritize rank, oh, it is rank, yeah. Okay, so we've addressed, it's already ranked. So that addresses boards,
So,
all right, so number 9,
So by the way,
you said rank, and it's already ranked, I just want you to know.
and I just wanted to tell you, on number 8, we actually took a vote on whether we should reference Tempe Bridge, and the vote was 3-2, not in your absence.
Thank you.
Not to reference Tempe.
Right, so does anybody have any comments, any additional comments on number 9 about infrastructure upgrades in response to climate change such as extreme weather events?
What about power outages? Like, is it worth mentioning or putting on the list?
Mhm.
tree trimming.
What was that?
Yes.
Power outages?
So the one thing I was thinking about with power outages is we have very little control over that.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
it's
just
in the
saying,
domain
just
of,
as a resident, the entire town goes out.
Yeah.
Very often, like 975 out of 975 people are without power because something happens on 133, And it
Yeah.
just seems like it's a vulnerability.
mhm.
It also is
Um,
because something happens
Definitely.
in the substation in Manchester. So it's, if the damage is that far away, it's completely out of our control. And the CMP has a tree trimming program every X number of years, and this was our year. You must have seen the trucks in town. They've been here for
Yes,
several weeks.
and they didn't trim to our house. I saw them, I talked to them, and they didn't trim to our
I
house.
spent an hour with them on my road and it was, they trimmed 8 feet from the
Yeah,
line.
right, cut those things back.
So let me point out that as we're discussing, the town has limited ability since it's mostly under CMP's control, but we do have some regulatory levers which we could use. For example, requiring that power lines in new developments be underground instead of above.
Good point.
So we have limited levers, but we do have some levers.
Yes, yeah, I'm just suggesting that we put just the general topic.
Yeah.
on, Like power
Okay.
outage resilience or.
How would you like that to be phrased?
Uh, um,
Stabilizing,
I think-
raising, replacing, repairing.
You're on the hot seat now.
Improve the resilience
mhm.
of the power network.
What I would say, I was firefighter meeting, they had a big demonstration about the size of a fire truck. Platform with poles and wires, and they showed, they're bringing in the technology here that allows fuses to be reset, and they can control where the outage is going. And if my house is here and my power line comes here and it gets broken right there, and my power line goes that way, they're able to now, they're going to be able to feed my house this way.
Oh, wow.
So they're gonna be able to really drastically reduce large outages very soon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right.
And that, I don't, yeah,
Some houses.
I mean, the man is still in 73, right? But,
Okay, so
and that's out of our control, so
Completely out of our control.
yeah.
advocating for,
Or
promoting
Yeah, Lynette, do you see my illustration?
promoting energy resiliency.
Yeah, a more resilient power network.
Yeah.
Well, just as an example, I suppose it's trivial, but I call CMP and mentioned to them that when I see a dead tree right next to the, I've even seen trees leaning against power lines and poles.
Proactive.
And I call them up, but I say, well, you can fix this now, or you can fix it later.
Yeah.
It's your choice.
Yeah.
And they come, sometimes they come, sometimes they don't.
Good.
Yeah.
But we could let people know that, call them up, tell them.
Yeah.
You've got
Yeah.
a high risk tree or a tree that
Good.
just died.
Yeah.
And it's gonna fall toward the side.
I found that seldom works, no offense, Lord. And the answer I got was, if that tree falls down on the wire, we get some money from the feds, or we get some money from somewhere else. We go and cut it down, we pay the whole bill.
That's true.
Oh,
That's good for
Is that if it's the total number of trees?
Oh, that's so
If they're
interesting.
in a crisis, if they're in a crisis, they get crisis money,
Yeah,
and then they can come in, they can make.
So we've we've incentivized them to face a crisis. Yeah.
Wow.
So they support global warming.
Are there, Lynette, anything else on number 9? Anybody else? Anything else on number 9? Just trying to keep things moving along here.
Thank you.
Number 10, about the elementary school.
That looks good.
I had a couple ideas there,
Okay,
rather than just have two.
okay. And you didn't like need.
I didn't like.
What did you like instead of need?
Should the Wayne Elementary School be allowed to close? And said, we don't not need elementary school. Anyway, that's minor potatoes, but just. I'm not sure I can say we don't need it, but I might say, I don't think we should keep it open right now. I might say that. I'm just saying that.
How do you want to phrase the?
I would say, should the elementary school be closed? That's a yes, no question.
that's what it boils down to.
That's what I've done. And then I had a couple other possible choices. One would be, should the town withdraw from the RSU?
Well, which is,
Or should they explore
Yes.
withdrawal from the RSU? How do you work that?
yeah,
And the other one I had was, I don't know if this would be allow the school board to determine if this current school scheme is educationally and financially sensible. I'm not, just words I had, but what I'm saying is
4 options.
let the school board do their job. Yeah.
So I'm on that committee that's been formed to look at Wayne's options for the school. And
Mhm.
withdrawing from the RSU would fall under, we should do everything possible to keep the school open. That is included in, withdrawing from the RSU is included in doing everything possible to keep the school open.
Okay, maybe we want to put that in it and.
See,
yeah.
I would like to say that when I see do everything possible, I'm thinking raise taxes. And then you're gonna get people that say. Maybe not everything.
Right.
So I almost think we should do 3. We should do anything necessary. Do anything shy of raising taxes, because that's the number one thing. Or we do not need a Wayne Elementary School.
So what I've got, item number 1 is the school should be closed. And I think that's what Ford was saying, it's not a question of need, is it open or is it closed? So logically, then the second is the school should not be closed.
Right.
But then there's, okay, but then the third option is go the extra mile, do everything possible to keep it open, including withdrawing from
The
the
RSU
RSU and raising taxes.
we have,
or
was no great length of time ago, we were a separate unit, we were put together.
We had a big mistake going into the RSU. That was a big mistake. But you gotta remember that things change.
Yeah.
The town had 8 schools at one time.
This town had
This town had 8 schools. And it boiled down to just a couple, one of them being right there.
Mhm.
And why did they boil down? It was all consolidation because you're getting a better education. It was more feasible, more financially sensible. And that whole trend is gonna continue. We're not gonna stop that. However, if we wanna keep our school, we have to have some good reasonings for it. And it needs to be feasible.
Yeah.
In my mind.
I don't know if we wanna join. Pulling out of RSU and taxes at the same time.
So maybe,
So I simplified the wording. And said, these 2 options. 1, ensure Wayne Elementary School stays open. 2, allow Wayne Elementary School to close. Those are the two options.
Well, yeah, so basically, it's what Richard said.
Right, but I mean, I have to,
One-
I have to put words to it to allow the.
And then we just get rid of number 11 entirely. It seems like that's getting a lot into a lot of the weeds that it really doesn't.
Yeah, I can agree with that, but whatever, we're still on 10 now, right?
Yeah,
We're on 10.
but if we do
Lynette,
10,
what do you
we don't
think?
need. We don't need number 12.
Well,
Do
I
you
thought Richard
think-
hit on the head, the Wayne School should stay open, the Wayne School should close,
Yeah.
or some hybrid thing.
I think it should be a simple, do what we can to keep it open. There are going to be a variety of options. They're going to have different price tags, or just allow it to close. I
My
don't,
concern,
in this question, I don't think we can get into what we should do to keep it open. There's just a
Unfortunately,
variety of
that's what
choices.
law, I don't know, what are you gonna do, but I agree with you, Lynette.
Do you think we just
It is
keep
complex.
it in those simple statements that I went, ensure Wayne Elementary School stays open or allow Wayne Elementary School to close?
I think
That does it.
that's the way to do
Well,
it.
because
think it-
Lynette is on that committee.
Yeah,
I
I think
really
you
wanna-
have to keep it in this context. I think the binary choice is the way to go. And
Do you like that wording though?
yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's fine.
Okay, so it simplifies the wording a lot.
So,
Yes.
so let me ask one question about that and direct it to Lynette since she's on the committee. So what about the option of closing some grades but not closing the entire school, which is, I know where we started this whole debate, but
Keeping it open.
well,
that's also phasing it out. I've
Well,
heard.
it
Well,
is.
you can, if you go down the phase out route, which is right now the proposals that have come from the A team, which is the administrative team, all the principals and the other higher ups in the district. So the A team and the superintendent, all of their proposals include phasing out the Mount Vernon and Wayne. And
it's a total phase out. It's
It's
not.
it is a progressive phase out. Within 5
Oh.
years, the school will be closed.
Yeah,
The only,
So phase out,
the only
I'm
other
sorry,
option is what?
phase out is equivalent to closing.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
phase out
All right.
leads to closing. Phasing out
Yeah,
leads
all
to
right, all
closing.
right, okay.
And
So
all
I think
All
that-
of their
yeah.
options go that way, except
Yeah,
for one,
yeah.
which is to keep it exactly the way it is. And
Yeah.
that's where a lot of us feel like they were pretty disingenuous, that there's got to be other choices besides all or nothing, which is what they're looking at. So yes, you could have limited grades in the school. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I was on a committee and we came up with a configuration that kept an elementary school in each town. And what it did was put grades 3 through 5 in Reedfield and grades K through 2 in Manchester, Mount Vernon, and Wayne, taking the Reedfield K2 kids and splitting them up. Because geographically, it actually is a shorter bus ride for some of them to come to one of the outer schools and keep Reedfield as a 3 through 5. That option is nowhere in the current proposals. So that's why the smaller towns are saying, well, we've got to look at something for ourselves, because the district direction is clearly, even though they talk about plan to plan and we're going to look at it and we're going to get stakeholders and we're going to do, there is no question that they're looking at closing the two smallest elementary schools. So
Yeah.
Mount Vernon and Wayne have formed committees. I believe we've got money in this year's budget to hire a consultant to help us look at our options. I don't think this question can ask people what they think we should do to keep it open. Do you want to keep it open? We're looking into it. Obviously, if it doubles everybody's taxes, nobody's going to vote for that. But I don't think that this is the vehicle for getting that information. I think this needs to.
Okay, I would like to just suggest that we, rather than do everything, which implies taxes, we say we look at any possible solution to retain it.
Well, no, we've changed the option to ensure Wayne Elementary School stays open
Oh,
or allow it to close.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
I simplified the
Yeah,
two
okay.
options.
Another thing that people ought to be aware of, and I would want you to remember this, Lynette, is Wayne is one of 100, at least 100 jurisdictions around the state where it is in the same position.
Hmm.
And all of these towns, some of them are more remote than ours by a long shot. They're not in between with commuting hard to other areas. And we have got to come up with a way of delivering education that is not the same system that they had before. We're gonna have to join, we're gonna have to change it from time to time, but we're gonna have to join kindergarten and first grade. We may have to join third grade, then second grade, or whatever grades, but we've got to have a system that works at this scale. And so we've got a problem that is felt by a lot of people,
Mhm.
and not just Wayne.
Yeah.
As long as
But I like
we,
the way you worded it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
All right. So
11.
basically it's either or, keep it or get
Yes.
rid of it.
Right, number
Okay.
11. Now, this is a concern that a lot of people have voiced around the issue of the school, that people will not move to the town if there is no school.
I think that's covered by item 10. Isn't it?
Say it again, Lloyd, you want?
It's covered in item 10.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm not sure how it's covered in item 10. It's an issue about
Well, I think
movement of
it's a reason,
I
population.
mean, it's a little bit of a deeper dive into, I mean, I think you're right that ultimately you're still faced with the two questions, but this is, I think, basically asking people to think a little further about the consequences. And maybe we want to ask, maybe we don't, but it goes into a little more depth.
Yeah,
Right.
has that been discussed, Lynette, in the working group?
I don't know if it's
About
been discussed in the working
my-
group, but it was brought up repeatedly in arguments before the district board at the last 4 or 5 meetings. People,
Right,
it speaks to the idea that simply closing the Wayne School because it's going to, and it's not really going to significantly lower our taxes, but closing the Wayne School because you might get a tax reduction is very short-sighted. And I think this is a good question to get a feel, put it out there, see what the town thinks.
Mhm.
Because it is a different question. It's asking
to
you,
the
what
why.
impact do you think this will have on our town?
Yeah, it gets to the belief and gets to the action. Yeah,
Yeah,
about the consequences.
yeah.
yeah.
So actually, one thing we might want to do is flip the sequence.
A good idea.
First of all, say, well, how do you think it's going to affect it? And then, okay, now, what do you think should be done? Keep it.
That's very good. I support that. Yeah.
Hmm,
Both these two items under 11 are basically saying the same thing as I look at it.
Well, but 11 gets into your belief system.
Yes, but I'm saying that the two things that they've got there, they say the same thing.
well,
No,
not.
no, they don't.
One says it will and one says it won't.
Yeah, yeah.
So I have a suggestion on 11. 11 starts out with a statement. And a statement is maybe subjective, so how about just take out that first sentence and say, select the
Yeah.
statement that reflects your impression.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
probably for a survey, that would be a good.
Yeah,
idea.
Like it.
Okay,
I
can do
makes
that.
sense. Yeah,
But
Well, it seems to
Okay,
me
yeah, that's
population
that's
movement-
perfectly reasonable.
Population movement into or out of Wayne is the same thing as retention of families in Maine and discouraging families from settling in Maine. In Wayne.
well, right, and they're just two sides of the same coin. I mean, it's saying it'll have a negative effect or it won't have a negative effect.
Yeah, it's either a negative effect or it'll have no influence.
Yeah. but you're right, it's two sides to the same coin.
So would you like to say removing or sequentially dismantling the school will have a negative impact on retention of families in, oh. Well, it's two things. Will have a negative impact on retention. And will discourage families from coming. One is about retention and one is about encouraging people to come.
But
They're
I
two
think,
different
I
things.
think, Lloyd,
Want
point
to
was that, the two
three.
bullets are, you know,
They're
one is,
interchangeable.
they're kind of, as I said, they're two sides to the same coin, either it is or it isn't. But we have to give people a choice, unless we're gonna allow them, if it's a multiple choice question, we have to give them the choice of, you know, it's a good thing, it's a bad thing, or, you know, it'll affect this or it won't.
Well, but can't you be like, removing, dismantling the school have a negative impact on the retention of families, but I don't care about the families. Wayne doesn't need a school, so they're not identical. The first one gets to belief systems.
Sure.
Will have a negative impact.
Yeah, some people might say, yeah, we won't have little kids,
Alright, we
but
can
I'm
say-
okay with that.
We could say, have a third option that says, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care about the impact of the school on families.
Yeah,
Oh, I wouldn't say that, I'd say no opinion or something like that.
Right, right.
Okay.
It has no influence.
yeah, okay.
Well, that's already there. The absence of a school
Well, yeah.
not
we-
into-
Yeah. the second one
population
does not-
movement into or out of Wayne, that's already there.
I mean, I suppose.
I have no
theory-
opinion.
In theory, the one thing we've left out because nobody thinks it is, removing the school will have a positive impact. You know, that's not an option here, but I don't think anybody believes that.
No. But yeah, this is a survey, yeah.
Alright, well, we can add that, third one, it will have a positive impact.
I mean,
No.
here's the argument, well, we'll save taxes and that'll make it more attractive and so, yeah, I'm not saying I believe it, I'm just saying, I can see somebody making that argument.
Would we still have to pay the taxes?
I think we would, which is why it's a fallacious argument.
Right,
Not
We
all
still
arguments.
have to pay to have our
We
kids go to
Go
school.
there,
So we're not paying a
it.
tax, we're paying a per pupil price to go
right,
to school.
somewhere
Pay
else.
that.
Right.
But
We're gonna.
If there are fewer and fewer families, then we're paying less and less and less because we're sending fewer
Ah.
and fewer kids.
Hello, that's the system we were under, the CSD system. We were
Yes.
under for years and years was exactly
Well,
that.
maybe we do then put, it will have a positive impact.
Yeah, it's a third option. You could put it.
Okay.
People will not like that.
I just had a one word thing and you can yes or no this.
Sure,
I know that-
significantly,
Yeah.
I added it already.
Well, okay, good girl. Did I put that in here? Oh, I did.
You did, I saw
Some
it.
questions are put in the survey to see if you're paying attention to the survey.
Right, number 12, what do you see as the barriers to establishing more small businesses in Wayne? Rank the choices.
And by the way, do we have to limit it to small businesses? I mean.
Oh,
That's true.
barriers to establishing
Yeah.
more businesses.
Businesses,
yeah.
All right, small is out, good on.
Okay.
Okay.
What,
I would add one,
What's that?
would be zoning and other regulation requirement.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
you mean the specific requirements or just the general overload of paperwork and
Under
regulation and?
The zoning, I'm talking about the
Okay.
zoning, I'm not talking about state regulation, you can hit those anywhere.
I changed it to regulatory requirements, if that's okay with you.
Except it,
Zoning
Zoning,
and
yeah.
other regulatory requirements.
we're talking about Wayne,
Oh.
and I'm talking about the Wayne zoning ordinance. Other regulatory requirements, we can't do anything about.
Oh, but you said regulation requirements?
Zoning regulation requirement.
Oh, you said zoning regulation requirements? I thought you said zoning and other regulation
Well, maybe, yeah, but
requirements.
the other regulation, I'm not talking about state regulations or federal, I'm talking about town.
There are other requirements too.
Zoning,
Zoning, right?
Yeah.
Town rules.
I mean, the zoning is probably the
The
most
zoning's a
important.
big one, you're gonna get
It's a
the
big one.
permit, you gotta.
But there are other ones. So,
I mean, you're on the plan, I was on the plan board, that knocks a lot of businesses.
How do you want it worded?
Huh?
How do you want it worded?
Town zoning requirements.
Yeah, that's part of the, well, for this level of survey,
yeah, yeah.
and you know, that's.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
What more?
Any others?
Under
What
12.
are you laughing at?
Well,
US Postal Service opening hours?
yeah, I mean, it's almost.
Yeah,
It's the US, the post office. Hours are almost,
Laughable.
yeah, well, it's just like, it's like when you get together with people, that it's a topic that it comes up all the time.
7:30
Yeah, I went to the
to
post office and they close 5 seconds before.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
We've all been there.
Or it's like,
Saturday
or there's a window in there that doesn't.
Yeah.
that should be a question, should the town of Wayne even have a post office once it was 5 minutes away?
Well, the other thing,
That's a
is that controllable?
Right.
I mean, if we're gonna have something that's not controllable, why have it? Cause somebody will be irritated, they'll put it there.
Oh, maybe
And then
we
they
should
don't-
take, should we take that out?
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
I think you're sticking with that.
Okay, it's gone.
Okay.
Okay.
But, you know, cellular access is a big one in the village, the
Mhm.
Strawberry Fest, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I'm working on providing Wi-Fi for the Strawberry Fest because.
Wow,
You
really?
pull out a phone, you can't do anything.
Oh, you
Wow.
can't do
More than
Venmo,
three
yeah.
hundred people show up in town, Verizon goes down and out, so, that's for me, that's a hot one.
Yeah.
And you know that not Verizon, but what's that, Spectrum, you know, has these local nodes that you can connect to as you travel around. And which is, and it would be great if they put one in downtown Wayne, I mean, at least for us
Yeah.
Spectrum.
Right.
Subscribers.
Yeah.
Okay, any other items for 12?
Possible. Another category, what are the barriers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is the lack of a commercial zone a barrier?
Like in the village
In our zoning laws, we do not have a commercial zone.
or like an industrial area?
So
kind of
what is
thing?
that? What does that eliminate the possibility of?
Well, commercial zones, you would have different standards.
Mhm.
Right now, you can have a business in town pretty much anywhere, as long as you fit the categories, and they're pretty stiff. Under what we used to call special exception, conditional now.
Okay, so
Mhm.
you had commercial zoning.
If you had a commercial
ordinance.
zone, it might have totally different.
Right,
setbacks,
and that
totally
would be
different-
your.
Oh, yeah.
More business friendly.
Like people have those, like some,
So I could say, I do a business here, but there's no commercial zone for me to go into, and I can't do it in the right.
Yeah.
Residential.
like some municipalities have industrial parks.
Exact, same kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Once have, you know, if you look at the zones that are commercial, and you have zones that are all in residential.
Mhm.
So a lack of commercial zoning.
That lack of a commercial zone, I put.
Okay, that's good.
Anything else?
Hmm.
Okay, next question. It was requested that we have a question about marijuana. So, I actually asked AI to put something together because I wasn't
Okay.
quite sure where to start with that.
Mhm.
So I gave it some parameters. And this is what it came up with.
I think it's pretty good.
It's pretty good because the parameters were so good. But that's the key, you know,
You all have a way before you start.
you have to give it good parameters.
Yeah.
You know, it's like garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is allow businesses only in specific.
So that was the one thing that I was questioning as
Okay.
well.
Because it's
Because,
small.
because we don't have a commercial zone. Cause I was
You already
thinking
said-
about that as
already
well.
But we could create them, again, I
We
don't,
could,
we
right,
don't, we shouldn't tie our hands based on what we have today.
right.
We could do that. We could
And
create
today we
commercial-
have we do have different zones that allow different things.
We
So
do, for R1.
it's
and
still,
all
it
that.
does apply to what we have currently.
But I also questioned that
Yeah,
one as
yeah.
well.
I wonder if we even need this question, this is just another business, should we have, I'm trying to think of some weird ones. Should we have adult entertainment? Should we have
Well,
casino?
the difference, see, the difference is
Casino.
the internet has made the adult entertainment largely irrelevant, but marijuana, not so.
Yeah, but there's eight
You can't
places,
get
there's
that
eight
over the
places
internet.
between Augusta and Winthrop, you can get your marijuana, you know, I don't, go ahead, I don't care, I don't care.
I mean, if you're against it, then you want it here, because I think most people are gonna say no. I,
And that will help the select board going forward because they're dealing with this right now.
Yeah,
Oh.
and prove that there is a limited number of people in town that have some kind of a marijuana going on now.
Sure.
I don't think there's anything commercial.
They're not commercial.
Okay.
It's not commercial, but personal use, yes. But,
Yeah.
you know, they're at the last board, 3 board meetings ago, you know, they brought up the fact that other municipalities have put moratoriums on things, on any kind of development until they can figure out what they want. And there are lots of other municipalities that have passed ordinances and they're starting to look at that. So I think knowing how the town feels would be a great help to the select board going forward.
And it's, you know, so
There's no choice here of do not allow
No, yes, there is.
prohibit all
Prohibit all
marijuana
businesses.
businesses.
it. Oh, perfect, yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, that AI is complete.
Yes. It was pretty good.
Pretty good. We should have asked them. I should have just started with saying, create a survey. In fact, it asked me after it did this, would you like me to create any more questions for you?
Yeah.
And then the last question is, what is your top issue for the next iteration of comprehensive plan for the
That's
town?
good, because that gives somebody a chance to
Right.
follow any one of those
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
categories and say, well, this is.
All right,
Yeah.
it's 8:08.
Okay, so I have some other questions, we can
Oh,
go next
let's-
time if you want. Well, I just ran these out quick, the wording might not be good, but I've been listening to what the hot topics may be coming in, and these kind of address that. One is, are you in favor of raising property taxes for the town to fund affordable housing?
Oh,
And if yes, how much? And then the other one is the same thing, if they raise property taxes for the town to fund open space land for public access. And do you feel the town should sponsor affordable housing to keep the school open? That's a weird question, but I've heard that. You should get affordable housing because then we'll have more kids and keep the school open. To me, that's a non-winner. If you know anything about development, it never pays its way. But how do you feel about that? Then small towns cannot provide all the services that large municipality can, and this is open-ended question for us to talk about, what kind of town is Wayne to you? So what is your town like to you? All towns can't provide all services because of size or infrastructure or whatever limitation. What kind of town are we right now? And then,
Kind of have that question, don't we, right in the beginning?
I mean, how would you like to see Wayne
which is,
over the
well,
next 10 years?
keep it as it is, retain its rural character, or.
well, I'm thinking, what kind of a town is Wayne? I see 2 houses downtown, both over $1 million.
I'm sorry,
2 houses for sale downtown, both over $1.2 million listed. Out where the farm is, the strawberry fields are, there's a new development out there, 4 or 5 units. And those are what I would call affordable housing. You know, the modular houses, they're on section K lots, so they're on substandard setbacks, but they have the section K advantage. One of those is for sale now, it's a small house with a garage, 400 and something thousand.
Wow.
And that's just sitting on the side of the road there.
Wow.
So I'm saying, and not to be elitist
Yeah,
at all, please don't go down that road.
yeah.
But what kind of town are we? You know, I've tried to think about that. I think we should brainstorm, not maybe that's right, but just think about that. I mean, we're a town of people who are relatively affluent that have moved in here, one reason or another. We're a town of summer residents, people guests in the summer that are fairly affluent. That's a good thing for us. I can go on and on and on. We had a store, we no longer have a store. Too bad that store was awesome back in the day, not the last 20 years, but back in the day.
Yeah.
I heard it was bought though. Somebody just.
So what,
Oh, really?
Really? That's news.
Oh, that's big news.
Who?
Oh,
Where did you
I
hear
don't,
that?
Wendy.
When they all,
Okay,
I think
reliable
that's-
source.
Yeah, I think that's where I heard it.
Anyway.
Are
I'm
you
just
sure
thinking
that's, are you
that
sure
in
that's
terms-
the,
yes,
the store and
No.
not Tubby's?
Tubby's was.
No, I know about Tubby's.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought, no, but, and that it was gonna still be used for food. That's what I heard,
The general store.
the general store.
Good, good, that's good news.
Yeah.
this relates to my general question about how. 10% of the voters make all the decisions. That's all the people that come to. Town meetings, 10%.
Town meeting is,
And
Yeah, you
so,
have a good question about downtown, anyway, go ahead.
and so, that's a bigger question, but I am increasingly convinced that for delivery of services. Towns are a bad way to go. And for controlling septic in particular, they're a terrible way to go, that does not work. And there are certain functions that we have that we might be able to cooperate with one adjacent town, or with two adjacent towns. And the perfect example is, we have a crackerjack. Accountant in here. Just amazing, and I'm sure she could have
Lynn?
another town, if it were.
Lynn Trepanese.
If that were suggested.
Mm-hmm.
So Lloyd, should we have another question in here that says promote cooperation with other towns, including shared
I
services?
just leave it on, I just put it on the agenda.
Mhm.
For the next
I
time,
don't-
but
yeah.
you have alluded to like regionalism.
Yeah.
Countyism.
Yep.
And I understand that in the scope and of efficiency perhaps.
Yeah.
But when I look at how we operate, and every time we're into that situation, if something gets hot, everybody retreats to the home rule corner.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, then-
And you
then
know,
that-
like we have very little control over the county budget.
That's
And
right.
if we had some regional thing, and we may need a regional fire department, who knows? But then you gotta understand that you're gonna,
Well, that's
you
why
won't
we
have as
keep-
much control.
Yeah.
Where do you
Just
want
to-
to?
But just to be clear about it, because to finish up on the questionnaire, so you do or do not want to put something in the questionnaire about? that?
I'd like to discuss it the next day,
Okay,
next session.
I
okay,
think that's a good point.
And then,
but as a separate topic.
yeah, it is, and I'm not sure if it belongs in the comprehensive plan, but on the other hand, there's a lot of, there's stuff. In here on Tom's government, and what it does and
Yeah,
everything,
Yeah.
so we have to acknowledge someday. We are gonna acknowledge that this system has gotta be fixed, and it's gonna come up one way or another, and we may as well try to be ahead of the curve a little bit. But with that by
All right.
waiting on certain terms, services anyway.
Okay, so I think we're finished with the survey now. I know you had some additional.
You wanna do these next time?
Yeah.
We want to do that next time. Okay, and also, and I sent an email
Yes,
out. which
yes, I saw
you said you saw.
And I haven't read it, but thank you, I did see that, yes.
Which goes specifically to the question of financing for affordable
It's
housing.
different ways.
Yeah.
And my question wasn't, should we do it? My question is. My question isn't looking at all those options. I don't put it, my question is. This one says, are you in favor of raising your property taxes to do it?
But I think.
That's a
we have
yes
to
or no
be-
question.
But I don't think we can ask that question in the survey. Because that's a leading, what we would consider in a survey, a leading question. And it would be too,
Well, I think the lead, if that, you make it good, but
it would
it would
be,
be a leading question, said, we need affordable housing real badly, more people in town, want it all, and then ask that would be leading. This is just, do you favor this or not?
Well, my point was
And
that.
it's not getting into other finances.
My point was that, yes, that is an option for subsidizing affordable housing. It's a relatively minor one in the big picture. There are federal subsidies, there are state subsidies. And to just focus on that one, to me implies that you're saying, well, if you want affordable housing, you're gonna have to raise taxes. Do you really want that? I mean, that's the way it comes
Yeah.
across to me.
it suggests that that's the only way to achieve affordable housing, and that isn't the only way to do
Well,
it.
maybe we can word it differently.
And we wouldn't want to suggest to the population that that's the only way to achieve the outcome.
Right.
And
Well, we
it's
have
like
a lot of-
it's like the internet thing, once they looked at all the options and then put it to a vote, the town gets to decide at that point. But at least it gives people examining the possibility of that kind of housing, might be something we have to look at. But then when push comes to shove, then that's a decision. The money's a decision for a town meeting. I can't talk anymore. It's too late.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
not making
well-
sense.
And Chris, did you see that, what Richard put together for the town
Yes,
meeting?
yeah.
Okay, but this sentence has to be pitched, the paper
The one
copies.
about,
are
yeah,
available.
we'll delete the
And
reference to the paper.
if you haven't
copies.
received a copy of the
Yeah.
survey by email, something like get your address.
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna
word.
fix that.
Right, yeah, it's good, yeah, and you may not, I mean, we aren't settled on this stuff at all.
I'm sorry?
We're not settled on it, you're gonna talk to Shannon, there's a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Before you know what you're gonna say.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's in the first cut.
Yeah, I know.
you were gonna put a PowerPoint together.
So,
Didn't you offer to do
I
that?
did, yeah,
Okay.
I'm waiting to receive the,
Consensus.
just tell me what you wanted to say, what, it's 5 minutes, right? So, 5 slides.
yeah, yeah.
And I think this is it.
I mean, I would,
It's in the packet
Yeah,
that you got tonight from,
Yeah, no, I saw that. Okay, so
so that's the,
text.
this is the narrative.
Okay, you want this text on those?
I mean, this is where your creative
This is-
abilities come to work. I mean, it's extract what you think the things that will work well on a slide. And, one would be the members of the committee and others would be, what are we trying to do?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, some,
I'm just thinking,
And there may be some feedback there that once you put it up, we say, well, no, maybe we should change it. So it fits better.
Now,
no,
next week, we're getting close here. We're gonna meet again on the 1st and then we gotta tie this baby up.
yeah,
Yes, that's right, that's that's crunch time.
yeah.
Crunch time.
we also need the money so that we can, get.
And that
We've
will,
got, we've got to get some answers first to our questions about how we do this.
He's
in a
gonna
valid
do,
way.
he's gonna
work
work
on it.
her
right,
to,
It could potentially be we don't have this for town meeting,
it's possible that we.
and that's okay.
And that's okay too. I agree with you.
Okay.
Action items for the next meeting? What have we got?
Chair,
I mean, I think we really should try to wrap up the survey.
yes.
You should get that printed so we can, printed, not literally. So we can get it out and really know exactly what, I think that's our main order of business still.
and
We-
working on the,
So that means Bob's got to do
follow-up.
Bob's going to look into how a few other towns have handled the distribution and collation of data for this.
Yeah, and I'm gonna talk to Shannon about what town lists we really can expect to have access to, how we can.
In
Structure
that,
that.
in that vein. With what, I don't know what. Survey monkey gives you, do they give you an Excel spreadsheet so that you can go and read sugar and stuff? They give you an Excel
They
spreadsheet,
have
so-
a bunch of different output report formats.
and a spreadsheet is one of them,
I believe so, yeah.
okay, cause you're just talking about,
Yeah,
parsing.
parsing it out and that's feasible.
yeah, what I looked at was more of a PDF document.
Yeah.
That's spit out, not
Right.
necessarily an XLS document. but-
Okay, it would be good to know if we get, we can't get that,
Oh, yeah,
good.
One thing I'm gonna say. ChatGPT, compared to other towns, this is a very small survey,
That's right.
number of questions.
Hmm.
Other
Yeah,
towns,
we've
25 and 50.
we've limited ourselves, maybe out of this one.
Yeah,
Oh, up to 50.
yeah,
wow,
so, yeah,
Especially-
but now we can leverage AI if we decided to. Or I think we might be able to borrow some of their questions.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
And
So
I'll work on that.
Or other matters, more specialized